a little bit in the rain gauge and some light fluff that came out of the sky last night, enough to whiten up things, maybe 2 inches total. We'll see what it melts down to. It isn't a whole lot. But after the bulk of this storm was gone, then we ended up with kind of, for us, the bonus round, which is where we finally get some of the orographics up against the mountains when you have a westerly component in the wind and you've got a north-south range of mountains. You get this uplift, and that forces the moisture against the mountains. And it was such a small-scale event that they didn't mess with it. So we ended up with a little light snow, just enough to wet the top of the soil. Maybe get the sandy soil wet on the top 2-3 inches, enough so we can get a little bit of a green up for the spring and for the deer and the other vegetative eaters. But it did get us a little bit of light snow. I heard planes on and off through the night, even inside, so now I know they're low and slow. And some contrary rippling going on here. So I'm running one way, and then ripples running another way up here versus here. Then out on the valley, very little snow fell, and we still have some of this cumulus scud. And this is what the direction I'm shooting today, so we'll be looking at this. At least for the first part of the video. I may swing it around and watch it off the mountains. But it's a big storm. It's a slow mover. It's already lifting to the upper Midwest and upper Mississippi Valley. And then we'll probably go rather temperate for the next couple of days here. Hopefully with some trails, some things to show you. We'll do a little map analysis and break this puppy down. Coming up on 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we had a couple hours of midday sunshine, a little warm enough to melt off some snow. We didn't get above 40 degrees though, that still has not happened. And yet now we've got clouds thickening up. Some snow showers have been up against the mountains for the better part of 2 hours. They're not wandering too far away from the mountains, so they're kind of really been confined to those locations. But I am seeing a few snow pellets coming out of the sky now. But a little additional moisture on the mountaintops is a very, very welcome thing. This will be interesting to see this on time lapse. I'm about to swing the camera around from the west to the east to see what's happening up there. Still some light snow showers. Instability showers kind of coming up over the mountains. You kind of see up there, you got a little light flurries obscuring the mountaintops, and that's one of the more nearby ones. The larger ones due to my east are just kind of out of view. But there is the rain gauge total for this particular storm. Coming in at about 1/4 of an inch, which was a little more than I was expecting last night. So certainly grateful for that, as we had to get some water in this topsoil, as dry as it has been all winter long. All right, let's see what's happening on a bigger scale. Off to radar, this is going to rewind into last night. And this is when we had all our snow. We have a radar site here. Well, it's Pueblo. But then I'm here along the mountains. And what was so nice about getting this snow is it was an event that was largely focused along the mountain ranges. And this was something that was a small enough scale that they really didn't mess with it. They didn't play with it. Had a few showers begin to build up this afternoon, and that's what's along the mountains now. Another impulse coming around from the north. But the larger event was already off to the east, and they left this alone. That was kind of the gift. Go to the GFS, the Global Forecast System, 12Z this morning. The center of this low has already moved into western Nebraska. Secondary trough kind of back over New Mexico with a lot of energy rounding the base of this trough into northern Mexico. We were left in the axis, so we had easterly breezes, or southerly breezes on the east side of the storm and northerly to the west. Had a strong ridge anchored in across the southeastern U.S., a ridge kind of nosing in through the Pacific Northwest. When you have this kind of a setup, this is going to be a slow mover. It really can't advance this way. The storm's coming in too far to the north. Otherwise, it could pinch it off. But what's going to happen is the storm will just simply weaken and lift off towards the western lake states. We'll have another impulse that'll come in. This will be tomorrow morning. And so we might see a continuation of some mountain showers, but they should be rather minor. What I'm more interested in, let's come back to this morning, is out here in the mid-Pacific. In the mid-Pacific, we begin to see another impulse beginning to take shape. As this big winter storm with huge temperature contrast, warm to the east, very cold, with more reinforcing cold air from Canada, begin to see this ripple that is now off the coast, well off the coast of Oregon, begin to slip into Southern California. Likely tap a little tropical moisture, And as we get into Saturday morning, I would expect that West Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, into the Four Corners area will be heavily chemtrailed. Watch for that. And then it kind of just slowly moves across the southern stream, while another Canadian North Pacific impulse begins to impede across the Pacific Northwest and then into the Central Great Basins, which means I will be having here in the San Luis Valley probably a wicked Dust Bowl event by Monday, Tuesday of next week. And meanwhile, this other storm begins to really kind of minor out. We'll see if this particular model, the GFS, is anywhere close to being accurate, but I may be dealing with another snow event in about a week's time. Okay, surface map. The center of this past storm is now across Arkansas, southern Missouri, and then moving to the east. Temperatures are very warm. We had afternoon readings in the 90s in Virginia. So summer-like heat ahead of this particular storm. 90s into, that looks like Baltimore, Maryland. So exceedingly warm. On the backside of it, we've got Omaha, Nebraska, in a rain-snow mix in 33. 33 at Topeka, Kansas. 38 at Tulsa, Oklahoma. 43 in Dallas-Fort Worth. I'm here with a northeast breeze at Alamosa at 37 degrees. So summer, and then the last vestiges of winter across the western U.S. So what I wanted to do with this was take us out from this storm. Let's rewind this back quickly. This little wave coming out of the Pacific, or it might even be this guy, this tail end. Let's go to the satellite animation. Here's the wide view, California, Oregon, Washington. It's this separation. We have this impulse here and this one here with a nice trough digging north of Hawaii. But in this separation, this minor ridge between the two, you can see the trails. I'm going to come in even a little bit closer. And you can see the chemtrails there, and then probably hundreds in this little spot. They adore, absolutely adore working with high pressures. So what they're doing here off the coast of California will determine how this storm evolves, how this becomes this kink, picks up some tropical moisture from Mexico, and then begins to potentially bring some rains into Southern California. So what they're doing in the Pacific right now will determine the weekend's weather across northern Mexico, and then eventually could turn into a severe weather event in Texas early next week. The deer still down in the valleys. You got to stay off the road, watch for them, because these little girls are just everywhere, along with the fox and everything else we got going on here. Still some light snow. You can see some fresh snow in the mountains. Still some flurries coming out top. I'm getting a little bit of sun before the day is done. The sky is bluing up, so tomorrow should be pretty gorgeous. Still some standing wave clouds out there, little lenticular-like, but they're not going anywhere. Got a chemtrail here. I'd just say it's just a regular contrail, but no, a contrail would not be, a regular aircraft would not be leaving any trail at all. And so that's the difference, especially with today's weather. Got a little flare on the top of this, little pseudo shark fin that hasn't quite fully developed. But it is the leading edge of this larger disk cloud, and you'll see those. You'll start to see these little shark fins, is what I like to call them. Once I pointed them out to and you begin to pay attention, you'll see all kinds of things that are going on out there. Coming this way, disk cloud comes together on this leading edge. We have an opening or gap in the base, and then on the downward side of the wave, it dissipates. So cloud comes into formation, crests, and then goes out of formation. Comes into formation, crests, goes out of formation. And it's just that's just the pattern, the way things are these days. All right, everybody, this is probably going to be it for the day. We're on sunset. I had a good little map discussion. Some crazy stuff going on off the coast of coast of Oregon right now. Had some freaky chemtrails off the coast of Texas and Louisiana. So have a look at those. And in the meanwhile, keep looking up. One last quick addition. Just pointing out this cloud, how we have the wave coming up, cresting, and then down. Look at this. Across the valley floor, you can see the wave undulating. Look at that. Up, down, up, down. Crazy. They're very evident once you start looking for it. Alright, I promise. This is it.
You said you'd light a candle and you'd say a prayer for me. Well, I feel the light is dimmed and gone, and half the world is begging while the other half steals. Oh, where did everything go wrong? Some days I can't believe, others I'm on my knees trying to be heard. I was your anchor and you were my fear, and now that it's over, of course it's so clear. Well, you were no angel and I was no sin, but somehow I can't let it go. Can't let it go. Half the world is sleeping while the other half dreams. You close your eyes and then you're gone. And maybe my intentions have been misunderstood. I know you feel so beautifully wronged. Some days I can't believe, others I'm on my knees hoping I'd be loved. I was your anger and you were my fear, and now that it's over, of course it's so clear that you were no angel and I was no sin, but somehow I can't let it go. Can't let it go. And laughter is my soul's release. We're not smiling anymore. And can't we try